Hello everybody. Suppose you want the sound of a classic analog synthesizer like this Super Jupiter in your music today. Well, I've owned this since it was brand new, and today it's old, unreliable, hard to work with and a bit grumpy, just like me. But you've got other options. If you wanted to run it as a virtual instrument, how do you go about doing that? Well, there are two ways you can do it. One is you buy a sample library where somebody has gone through every single patch on this, deep sampling it, so it runs to hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes. The downside of that is, whilst the sound is extremely authentic, you can't manipulate it, you can't program it from scratch, just like you can with this. The other alternative is you build a virtual instrument, which in every tiny detail is the same as the original. It just runs inside your DAW. And that's what these people do very well. And that company is Arturia. They're a French company based in Grenoble, and they have made it their life's work, their obsession, I would say, to produce really detailed recreations of vintage synthesizers. So what we're going to be looking at today is their V Collection, which is a collection of 33 instruments, most of them stuff like Korg MS-20 and CS-80s, Prophet 5s, etc. You know, classic synthesizers which you might want to use in your music. The whole lot costs €599. I've been a V Collection user for a long time. I bought it years ago and I've used it regularly in stuff ever since. Now, vintage synthesizers don't sound the same as things like, you know, massive Yuhei stuff, the Dune synths and things like that. It's got a classic sound, and so that's got to be what you're looking for. If that's what you're after, then this is, without any doubt, probably the best bet. If you look, for example, at this CS-80, I mean, it is a really accurate recreation. I remember seeing one of these, actually playing one of these secretly, in a 10cc studio in Dorking in the 80s. And it was when I had long hair. When I had hair! Oh, God. And it's got this kind of... it's got that really, really warm, rich texture and all the rest of it. Now, being a really accurate recreation is both a strength, because it's a really accurate recreation of the original thing, but also it can be a setback as well, because if you look, I mean, here is the ARP 2600. This is exactly what an ARP 2600 used to look like. It is every bit as baffling today as it was then. When you looked at the thing, said, okay, where do I put the key? How do I start this thing? It's kind of, yeah. So back in the day of vintage synthesizers, they hadn't really figured out how to make a user interface that people could understand. And so accurately reproducing that does present quite a steep learning curve if you want to really get under the bonnet of this thing and work out how to program it. It is perfectly possible to do, but you're going to have to put time into each instrument to really understand its, how it works. But it doesn't take very long to get into this. I mean, obviously you can just use the presets, and then you work out that little knob up there is the filter cutoff. And if you really want to, you can go down. If you want a different sequence, you can just mess about with so it's not that hard to get in there and start messing about with these things and making them sound the way you want them to. Let's have a little look at a couple of them. I mean, there is a way which you can just get into the presets, which is really straightforward, and it's called Analog Lab. And it's exactly what you'd expect. You're able to dial through the presets of all these things. Here you go, hard bass, listen. Poly lead, etc. And you can choose from all these instruments And for some, like, for example, like this is a Fairlight. Oh God, I wanted a Fairlight so badly. But you know, like the synclavier at the time, it cost as much as a house. I mean, literally as much as a house. So this effect, this is really, really useful. And with the Analog Lab, you obviously don't get the same amount of sort of interaction with the with the programming bit, but with something like a sampler like that, like the old Fairlight or the synclavier or the emulator, all of which are part of the collection, you don't really need it, to be honest. And you can, so it's a really good, quick way of getting into the sounds. And also, there's a new thing. Where is it? Okay, let's go into, which one shall I go into? Here, go into that one there. So get the CS80 up. If you go edit preset, look, you're able to lay up two of them. So you can then choose another one, and you can have a different pad or different whatever else it is. So you've got two of them at once. So you can make it even, you know, thicker and more interesting, and there's all these kind of effects and stuff like that built in as well. Okay, so look, okay, one other thing which is worth mentioning, because it took me a little while to figure this out, but it's if you want to, I mean, the whole nature of a synthesizer is real-time control. You need to be able to push your buttons and twiddle your knobs and all that kind of thing. And you therefore want, when you look at a synth like this, you want to be able to get in and go, okay, I want to change the cut frequency, I want to do this, I want to do that and the other. Pretty straightforward. If you click the advanced mode, or actually if you click that little icon there, it brings up this panel down the side. And if you look, it's go to the MIDI one, okay, and then it will tell you a list of all the features which are already mapped to controllers. If you click learn, whoop, okay, that's what comes up. All the purple ones are free to be assigned to controllers, and the red ones are already assigned. So for example, that is already assigned. It's in this list here somewhere. So all you do is you take the high pass frequency. Here we go. So okay, click on it, then move a fader, and you see it goes whizzing up and down. So it's like, you know, MIDI learning everything else. And that works great. So then you can turn learn off, and then you're in business. So you can map anything you want to anything, pretty much. And that's what gives you that kind of real time, ooh, you know, what fun, etc., etc. So there is also in this version macros. What the macros do, it allows you to add more than one control. So for example, this brightness macro is currently got the VCF cutoff into it. If we want to add, I don't know, something stupid like high pass frequency as well. If we go learn and then move high pass frequency, it adds that as well. So then every time you, let's turn that off. Every time you move the brightness button down the bottom here, you can see both those going up and down together. So you can actually chain a whole load of controls together and just have one thing, which is really useful, actually, really useful. I should say, in addition to all these vintage synthesizers, which is what we're concentrating on today, they have introduced two new instruments, augmented strings and augmented voices, which is innovative instrument combining sampled strings with state-of-the-art synthesis and deep morphing controls. There you go. Says it does exactly what it says on the tin. And they've also got pianos and things like that, sample model pianos and all that kind of malarkey. Right, enough chat, Guy. Let's get into this thing. Right, okay. What shall I start with? Okay, I haven't looked at the piano. Let's get the piano up. Okay, I quite like this pluck. Look, there's a normal grand piano. But I do quite like, they've got lots of uprights and things like that. Pluck round, I like that. Something like that. Right. Go get 'em, Tiger. loop. Quantize, smart control, doop, doop, whoop, doop, and loop. Okay. Right, now let's add something else in. Let's go to that warm. One, two, three, four. Could work, could be worse. What else am I going to put in here? Tell you what happens if I just double this up actually? Because obviously then go into the second one and just slightly change the patch. So then I've rather, the way the CS80 worked, you've got this patch, it's like two synthesizers in one. So there's synthesizer number one, there's synthesizer number two. So I tell you what, if I find a slightly different patch, but let's go to pads. Which one shall we go for? Basic beauty. That's a bit too subtle, too flangey. Well, it says flange. What? Bounce, classic strings, CS80 pad, pulse. Okay, I'm going to live with that. Okay, let's see how that sounds layered together. Layering with synthesizer, really important thing to do. I like that. Okay, we'll go with that. Where's my reverb? Bus 2. Whack a bit of reverb on it. Okay, so far so good. Let's reinvigorate my little friend here. Do I want some delay on? Is that a bit predictable? Guy, predictable? What? Of course it's predictable. Stereo delay. There may be a delay built into it, who knows? Dotted one of them, let's see how we go. See what they say. I like that. Okay, now let's bring in a Is that almost exactly the same as what I've just played? It is. I must have been playing it and then sort of ingested that little sequence and then just spat it out again. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, let's see if I can work out how to get the, oh, maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I can just use brightness control. Okay, when the thing gets, if it's too small or too big, which it frequently is because there's a lot on the page, yes, there's a brightness control down the bottom. There you go. Okay, let's have a little look, see if the macro can be coarse tune filter. Okay, let's go to MIDI learn. Let's see if we can get coarse. Where is this thing? It's up the top here. It's already assigned. So what's that one? How do I work that out? Fine tune filter. Okay, I'm now trying to work out what that is actually assigned to. Or maybe I just click on it. Let's go back to my MIDI learn and see if I can just put it on whatever I want. Click, 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 brightness. Let's choose that one. There we go, 76. That looks like that's working. Right, that's great. I'll live with that. Okay, thanks very much. Right, you can now go away up 2600, and now we're going to just sneak in. Wait for it, Guy. Wait. Don't be in a hurry. Okay, that'll do. And we're going to, what are we going to do? No, we're going to bounce in place. That one, because we may want to cut and paste it on all kinds of other things, but so far so good. Now let's get some other bits and pieces going in here. How about these, the augmented string thing? Okay, that's quite nice. I quite like that. Same deal with these, yeah. So how does the MIDI set up here? Motion, morph. Where's motion? 77. Okay, I'm using my monogram, so we'll put that on that one. This is an ideal one for a controller like Monogram, actually, because you can just set it up to with all these buttons everywhere and all that kind of thing. Yeah, there's motion moving around. Okay, so what I'm going to do, oh my lord, hands all over the shop. Here we go. I'm going to play it in Nova strings. This sounds pretty Nova to me, and we will see if I can play it in and adjust the motion as well. So I'm going to bring in some motion slowly as it gets going. Okay, there's something obviously wrong with the way I did it. Okay, the ARP 2600 does not come in very subtly, does it? That's because I didn't move the thing at the right moment. So what we're going to do is do that again. If you're going to rely on a controller to bring something in, and you don't move it because it was already set there, it will forget, and then. So what you have to do is a little wiggle at the beginning. Don't know if you can see me doing a little wiggle. Anyway, so that it sets it. Let's get this going and do this again. Okay, that's better. Right, bounce in place. Yep. That there, you can see from the waveform even that's better. Okay, so now what else am I going to throw in here? Am I going to? How about the OBX? I like the OBX. Okay, there's another thing which I need to talk about here. Back in the day, when these things were real hardware instruments, you know, when they're talking about an oscillator, they're not talking about some little bit of code. It's a real thing. And they have good days and bad days. You know, some days it's C, some days not so much. And it was a very frustrating experience, to be honest, with real analog synths, because they just wander about doing their own thing. Are you supposed to be in tune today? No, I don't feel like it, actually. It's like a stroppy teenager dealing with an Oberheim. Anyway, To reproduce the effect of a stroppy teenager, they've introduced this thing called voice dispersion, which basically will give you little minute or radical variations of pitch, cutoff, all kinds of things. So it is just as unreliable. You can make it reliably unreliable. How good is that? I mean, honestly, what? Honestly. Takes me back. Ooh, quite like that. Oh, of course, got it. I've got a bit of an arpeggiator going on in here. Now the augmented strings, we need to go in there and look at the automation because, where is it? Boing. I think it was a modulation wheel, was it? Oh yeah, no, there you go. I think it needs a bit of a sort out because it sounded like it wasn't, same problem as before, I think, yeah. Actually, there's another way I can do this. Take off that. Go back to the beginning and just make sure. Actually, I don't want it coming in as early as that either. Let's. Hang on, which was the, wasn't the mod wheel, was it? What was the one which contained controlled motion? Oh, I'm getting confused already. Augmented strings, let's have a look. Come on, up you come, where are you? Probably up somewhere I can't see you. Yes, there you are. Whoa! Okay, which one was it? Ah, it's that one. There we go. Whatever that controller is, the one we need to put in at the beginning. So we go record, put a little twiddle in. Oh, now it should be better. Where am I getting this big? Ah, is it that? It is that. Okay, might go with that. Something, okay. Let's add in, I don't know, what are we going to add in? What am I going to go for? I think I'm going to go for something more, is it going to be, so back in the day, that was a state-of-the-art choir sample. You know, how life has moved on. And you can... What just happened? Oops. How long has that been doing it? I don't want to know. Don't want to know. Moving on. Nothing to see here. Yeah, back in the day, this was state-of-the-art choir. And now you can get the same thing as part of a free library and run it on, you know, postage stamp of CPU and all the rest of it. I mean, I am a real sucker for the other. But it's It's a bit too dramatic for this, isn't it? This is not that kind of piece. What kind of piece is it, Guy? Oh, no, I don't know. The old Prophet 5. Let's see what we got going here. Keys, Multiclo, Birdsong. Chili keys. I think the old Prophet 5 sounds best when it's really simple. That kind of... Oh no, too much, too much. Maybe not. Maybe this isn't... okay, what else have we got going on? Okay, why don't you just find another instrument, add another instrument in. Here we go, let's have a look. So this is what you get. Oh my lord. Oh, this is bonkers. We don't need this one, but this is absolutely crackers, this one. I'll show you what I mean. Where has it gone? Look, this thing is absolute. It reminds me. Look at. So you go. It reminds me of an instrument. Stop! Maybe? Please stop! This is the experience. This is, okay. My friend Christopher Evans bought a VCS3, which was a little synthesizer in a suitcase, which you had to program a little bit like this using pin boards and things. And he said, here we go, have a go. And he sat there and watched me struggle going like this for half an hour. Couldn't get a sound out of the thing. I was just, okay, you're clearly cut out to be a synthesist in the future. Christopher Evans, where are you now? Enough. Anyway, yeah, but so this little collection does have some really bonkers stuff. Okay, so in the great scheme of things, when I'm working on a show or something, what do I tend to use the V Collection stuff for? If I want a big modern sounding synthesizer, I will tend to go for Dune or Zebra or one of those, because they've got so many voices and it's so rich and kind of all kinds of modern weird stuff going on. But sometimes you want just a weird... it's the stuff which comes off the ARP 2600, for example, is sometimes crazy. But okay, maybe I can take that, bounce it to audio, turn it into a little thing, speed it up, run it backwards. It's a great source of these incredible little kind of bits of ear candy. Or you just want it to sound retro modern. And so you got kind of all the modern stuff going on. And then you put one of those sort of Prophet lines over the top. And it's sort of, it sort of takes you back to the 80s. So it gives you a very, very rich range of sonic possibilities. And it's just different to all the modern stuff. Every incarnation of the V Collection seems to get closer to the feeling of... I mean, this CS80 we played here feels much more like the CS80. I wasn't supposed to be playing in 10cc studio back in this, whenever it was, because they happened to have left it plugged in. Silly boy, Eric Stewart. So me and my mates would go in there at weekends when they were on tour or whatever, and we record our own little demos. It was hilarious, absolutely best of times. Anyway, is that why my CS80 got... No, anyway. Look, moving on. So look, I am a big fan of the V Collection. 599 euros is, seems to me, good value for what you're getting out of all this lot. 599 euros wouldn't pay the shipping on any one of these originals if you bought one in wherever. I mean, they are worth so much money now. And it's such a cool sound. You know, you think of Stranger Things and all this kind of, and the Weekends Blinded thing and all that. You know, it's very much a sound of now, ironically. So go out there, add it to your list for consideration, and go and have some fun, because I guarantee you will come up with something you wouldn't have come up with otherwise. It will help you move into a slightly more original direction, because challenging as some of these instruments are to get your head round, they're also really good fun. Right, that's it from me today. I'm going to go and make a cup of tea. You may have noticed I forgot. Anyway, thank you very much indeed to Arturia, who upgraded my V Collection for free. Thank you very much. But they haven't otherwise had any input into this or anything. There's no sponsorship or any of that malarkey. But anyway, look, that's it. See you all again very soon. Bye-bye.